Okay, I wanted to get this Dancing Wings Hobby J3 FireBird Cub in the air again with a 2S 400 milliamp hour LiPo. Now the LiPos I've been flying in it, the 2S 300s weigh approximately 17 grams, the 400s weigh approximately 20 grams, and would you believe I'm still under 100 grams all the way on this plane. All right, so let's get out here. Go with 55% throttle now. Let's get a little more weight on it. Oh, and I did push my CG back just a little bit. All right, launching. Okay, that was at 55% throttle, and I did have a little torque roll there because I haven't got my right angle in my motor yet. But yeah, this plane is not going to have any problem carrying a battery like that. None at all. You know, you could probably, I don't know, you might be able to run a really lightweight 450 in it, 2S 450. I'm getting a little wind shift. Yeah, it it does not have a problem carrying that additional 3 grams of weight. And those are really, really old 2S LiPos too. I don't think I got my battery weight centered though. you wanna make sure you get your battery weight centered. So much power. Look at that. Effortless. Big, huge, wide loops are effortless for this plane. Awesome roll rate, huh? I never would have believed that. The ailerons are full span on the wing, but they're not very deep. You know, they're pretty shallow. So I really didn't think that I was going to have a lot of aileron authority, and boy, was I wrong. I've got a ton of aileron authority. Check that out. It must be hitting some wind that I'm not feeling on the ground. And of course it doesn't take a lot of wind for a plane this size and this weight. Rudder turn, rudder turn. Rudder turn. Rudder turn. Yeah, so this can carry a 400 just fine. That gives me a couple more LiPos I can use in this plane, which is awesome. Isn't that cool? Look at that, guys. Those are pretty big loops. And it has no problem performing those. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? They did an excellent job with this kit plane. Look at those, look at those turns. You can fly this in a tiny space. Look at that. That's pretty stable, isn't it? Okay, so I'm interested in seeing, I'm getting my haptic now, I'm interested in seeing how my landing is going to be now that I have moved the CG back a bit. Okay, so before we get any traffic, let's do our circuit. We look good that direction. And I'm not feeling a lot of wind right now on the ground. And we look good in that direction. Okay. Ah! What is wrong with me? Now I got sand and dirt in the motor. Alright, got it cleared. Alright, I can't let that slide. I think I'm going to go around and land it again. That was terrible. Now, let's see if we can get a decent landing out of it. No. No, we can't. But it's on its wheels. At least it doesn't have its tail up in the air this time. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Another pebble in the motor. Alright, got that cleared. Let's see. We should have enough juice for one more try. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit of wind coming from that direction now. Alright, so let's launch. Stay away from the truck. Okay, let's make a circuit here. Whee, boy, it's feeling some wind up there. Okay. I got some wind at my back. Finally. Finally a decent landing. Alright, it only took me, what, 6 flights? 6 flights? Yeah, I think that's right. It only took me 6, maybe 7 flights to get a decent landing on it, but it was easier to bring the nose up when I was coming in for a landing because I pushed the CG back a little ways. I think I'm going to push it back just a little bit more, and because it really should float down, especially with 2 mile an hour wind in its nose. So I'll test it out again with the CG moved a little bit further back. I do like where it is now, but it might be better just a little further back. Okay, before the wind picks up too much, I wanted to get another flight on it with one of these 400 mAh 2S Lipos that weigh 20 grams, approximately 20 grams. And I did move the CG back just a little bit more. Okay, so the wind is still coming from the same direction right now. Launching. And I just launched that at 50% throttle again, like I was doing with the 300 mAh Lipos, and that seemed to work really well. See how it likes my new CG. Because I'm back about 31 millimeters. I started at 28, And now I'm back about 31 millimeters from the leading edge of the wing. So far it feels pretty good. I always like to test them at cruising speed to see if they're ascending, descending. Other than the wind, it seems like it's holding its attitude at that CG pretty well. I just want to make sure we didn't introduce any instability in it by moving that CG back further. Yeah, it's definitely feeling some wind up there. What do you guys think of this plane so far? I think it's pretty darn cool. I think that's a pretty darn cool plane. Yeah. So far, I don't see any problem with the CG at 31 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing. I want to see when I bring it in for a landing if it floats better. You know, I'm not having to apply as much back pressure on the elevator to bring the nose up. I still just have the elevator completely neutral, the rudder completely neutral. I've got a little bit of right aileron in it now to counteract motor torque until I get that right angle, a little bit of right angle put into the motor, and then I should be able to have the ailerons completely neutral. So maneuverable. Isn't that awesome? Okay, let's see here. Awesome. I don't know. That may have been a little more axial with the CG pushed back to 31 millimeters as opposed to 28. I think they are. I think the rolls are more axial. Maybe that's a better balance for this plane, 31 millimeters back from the leading edge. Stay out of the sun. Now this plane, like a lot of bush planes, or most bush planes I suppose, I haven't flown that many of them, but it likes to have a bit of rudder input in the turns. That was a lot. That was a lot. It wasn't a little. Sometimes I go a little overboard with the rudder. That's better. But what a fun plane, guys. I really having fun with it. And this is flying with another 400 milliamp hour battery. I'm still under 100 grams all that way, but it has absolutely no issues carrying a 20 gram battery. Isn't that awesome? That is so cool. Oh, my timer's up. Alright. Let's see if we do one more loop here. Big loop. There we go. Okay. Alright, so let's check traffic. I still got wind. It's going downwind now. I've got just a slight amount of wind on the ground coming from, well, it looks like wind there is coming from the different direction. Okay. Alright, I didn't like that. Let's go one more circuit. We're still clear. I want to see if it's a little floatier coming in for a landing with the CG pushed a little bit further back. Yeah, it definitely was. I didn't have to apply much back pressure on the elevator at all there. So looking at the roll rate, I mean not the roll rate, but the fact that the rolls are much more axial now than they were, I think that that's a better balance for this plane. So I think at this point, I'm ready to publish the setup file and the OpenTX model file for this plane for any of you that are interested in it. But it's an awesome flying little sub 100 gram plane, and so far I've flown it with 2S 300 milliamp hour lipos that weigh 17 grams, 2S 400 milliamp hour lipos that weigh 20 grams. I really don't think this plane would have any problem carrying 25 grams worth of lipo. That would probably put it just a tick over 100 grams all up weight, but I certainly think it could handle it with no problem. And with that power, it will still be able to do those big, huge, wide loops. So let me pull this old battery out of here, and this is a really old Sheeta 2S 400 milliamp hour lipo that came out of something. I can't remember what it came out of, but I have had it for years and years and years. So let me grab my meter here and let's see. As I was doing mixed mode flying, I was hardening the throttle quite a bit and cruising around 7.7, 3.85, 3.85. How much flight time did I say I was going to be able to get? Just cruising around about 10 minutes of flight time? Well, might be able to get more than that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.